So, good afternoon. My name is Mark Crenshaw, and I'm here with my colleague Andy Roach. And we are going to provide this set of narrated slides related to the AUCD Leadership Academy coaching process. The audience for these slides and their content are 2023 AUCD Leadership Academy participants and their coaches. So in the next few minutes, Andy and I will guide you through some slides to help you get an understanding of the following topics. On number one on the red slides will be a quick overview of the AUCD Leadership Academy experience. Number two, on the blue slides, we want to give a little context about who participated in the Leadership Academy. The third set of slides will be purple, and they will kind of review our hopes and expectations for Leadership Academy participants. And then the number four on the green slides will be a review of our expectations for coaches and participants, so that coaches and participants are clear about how to move forward as we proceed in 2024. So, as I said, the first set of slides will be a quick overview of the Leadership Academy experience. And what you see on the slide is the sort of a visual representation of the key components of the AUCD Leadership Academy. So there in the middle under AUCD Leadership Academy, you see courage and renewal. And participants will know very much sort of what courage and renewal is, but it's an approach that helps participants get really clear about their values and commitments in their work. And it's really among the most important organizing principles for our work in the AUCD Leadership Academy. From there, we do a lot of work related to self-awareness. So who am I? Who am I within my organization? And what are the strengths that I bring to my work in my organization? And how can I bring those strengths to bear in my work? There's a real focus on the history of disability and civil rights and independent living in the context of the AUCD Leadership Academy. And that happens because we want participants to see themselves, to experience themselves as inheritors of a legacy of disability and civil rights. And we want them to find themselves and find their place and position in the context of the contemporary disability rights movement, and see their work as continuing that legacy. There's focus on partnerships and networking and community organizing. Really focus on relationships in the context and how to build and sustain relationships to sustain change in systems over time. There's some focus on that in the context of the Academy. And then there's a focus on exploring the roles that power, privilege, and oppression play, and really an analysis of power, privilege, and oppression in the systems in which we work. And so we really want to give participants some tools to do that in a more powerful way through the Academy. So the next set of slides are going to talk about who participated in the Academy. Andy, do you want to talk about these?
Yes. So we were fortunate to have 24 participants in the Academy this year. They were here in Atlanta back in June of 2023, and they have had ongoing engagement with a peer learning or peer ally, learning ally group, which includes 4 participants plus AUCD Leadership Academy faculty member, and those groups have been meeting every other month. The folks that were part of AUCD Leadership Academy include faculty and staff from UCEDS and LENS, leaders from state and national disability organizations, as well as emerging leaders from other community and university partners.
So now, the third section of this presentation, we'll talk about sort of our hopes and expectations for participants in the AUCD Leadership Academy. And these slides will be purple. We obviously want, as I mentioned before, we do a lot of strengths-based leadership work in the context of the AUCD Leadership Academy. So we want participants to understand what their strengths are and how they can bring those strengths to roles in their organizations and the organizations in which they work, and we want them to be aware of how they can bring their strengths and a strengths-based approach to their lives as well. And then we want participants to think about the organizations in which they work and to think about how they are going to identify strategies to contribute to their organization and help their organization accomplish its mission and goals in a more powerful way. In addition, participants, and this is why you're here, if you're a prospective coach, participants identify a coach in their home, organization, or community to serve as a support for helping them bring the learnings of the Leadership Academy home and apply them in their leadership context. We've had a number of different folks serve in coaching roles over the years of the Leadership Academy. Sometimes the coach is a leader within the Leadership Academy participants organization, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes the coach is a supervisor, and sometimes the coach is not a supervisor. The only thing we ask is that if the coach is in a supervisory role, that they refrain from using conversations or information that they get in the coaching process as part of an annual review process. So we really do want the coaching process to be free from performance evaluations and that kind of thing.
So this next, whoops, this next set of slides, the green section is going to talk a little bit about our expectations for coaches and for the Leadership Academy participants in their work together. So again, sort of the role of the coaches is to support Academy participants in translating sort of the things that they've learned and the commitments they made during the Leadership Academy to their home organizations. And ideally, the coaches are going to meet formally face-to-face with participants up to 4 times in the remainder of the 12 months following Academy. So in this next sort of 6-month period. We recognize that sometimes coaches are not directly co-located with their coachee, and in those situations, there might be a reason to use Zoom or some other online meeting platform for coaches and participants to come together. So the sort of format for doing this will be 4 coaching sessions. So one meeting after this webinar should be to lay out the schedule for the upcoming months. And we need to have this uh, ideally one opportunity for the participant, in addition to the meetings, one opportunity for the participant to observe the coach in a leadership role or activity, and one opportunity where the coach observes the participant engaged in some sort of leadership activity or behavior. The participants are responsible for at least one meeting where they discuss the progress of their work on sort of their leadership commitments and goals that were identified during the academy and how they're applying that to the work setting. So we will ask coaches to provide a brief evaluation of the coaching experience at the end of the year. This will come to you as an online sort of form or survey that will briefly ask you to fill out. We also ask participants for an evaluation of the coaching experience as part of our follow-up evaluation with Academy participants. So here's sort of a recommended schedule. We recognize that people have different work commitments and schedules that may mean that you do 2 meetings in 1 month, or that you have a different sort of schedule here. But January we'll have the coaching webinar. In February, sort of that first meeting where you schedule and sort of lay out the logistics of and dates and times for your meetings going through the rest of the year. In March, having that observation of the participant, academy participant observing the coach in a leadership activity. In April, coming together for a second meeting, maybe to debrief some of the observation, but also to touch base with the participant about their sort of progress towards their leadership goals and commitments. In May, scheduling an observation where the coach can observe the Leadership Academy participant in a leadership activity or behavior. And then in June, scheduling those third and fourth meetings, the fourth meeting being mostly for wrap up and sort of summarizing the experience of coaching, and also for checking in on sort of the progress that the Academy participant has made during the year. So on this slide, we're going to talk about what we've just discussed, which was our expectations for coaches and participants. So the goal here is to set up a series of regular meetings during the upcoming months between the Academy participants and their self-selected leadership coach. We also want to make sure that we've set up these reciprocal observations. This is an opportunity for the Leadership Academy participant to observe their leadership coach engaged in leadership behaviors, as well as a second observation where the coach has an opportunity to observe the Academy participant engaging in leadership. Also, there should be participant-generated content for the additional follow-up meetings that happen throughout the rest of the year. These can be, as we said before, held in person or via virtual meeting technology like Zoom or Skype. So here are some contacts for you to, if you have questions about the coaching process or anything about the Academy, feel free to reach out through these means, and Mark or I or another Leadership Academy staff or faculty member will get back to you. The most important thing that Mark and I want to leave you with today is that this coaching process is really meant to be in the service of the learning and development of the Academy participant. So if, as you're sort of laying this out as coaches and Academy participants, you decide that there's some modification to the procedures that will help support your learning, we really want to convey to you that we both welcome and support that. The most important outcome is that this process is supportive of your development. So we hope that coaching is just one of the additional exciting components of the Academy. And as Mark and I have said, please reach out to us if you have any questions or need any further clarification about the coaching process. We look forward to reading your feedback and hearing about what you learned as part of the coaching process. Thanks for being with us today, and we hope you have a great beginning to your 2024.